Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Your higher perspective allows you to see things that we may not be able to see just as yet. It made me start thinking about that maybe perspective was infinite. And if perspective is infinite at that level of frequency, there are things that we can't see. So my first question is does the universe expand to infinite perspective, or are there several universes or millions?
Well, there are several universes. You could call it a multiverse, as many of you have begun to do. Nevertheless, in totality, creation is infinite, even though different universes may have finite experiences within it. But remember, the finite is subject to the infinite, because the infinite, by definition, contains the concept of the finite, whereas the concept of the finite, by definition, does not contain the concept of infinity. Did that make sense in your language?
Yes.
Creation is infinite.
Right.
Different universes may not be. They may have a finite experience. Does that make sense?
I see.
Because they are within infinity.
So then, if infinity cannot be experienced, does it exist?
It does.
Okay.
The closest, however, to the idea of experiencing infinity is what we term all that is. Whereas the concept of the one, which is also, in a sense, all that is undifferentiated. It's just one. And as such, it actually has no experience of itself as infinity. It takes recognition of the self to experience the idea of the infinite, and therefore only all that is, the first separation from the one, can experience its own infinite quality. But it also knows that true infinity cannot actually be experienced because only the one is truly infinite, but the one by definition does not have experience.
I see.
Does that make sense in your language?
It does make sense to me, actually. Yes.
Oh, all right. You must be more messed up than I thought. You are crazy just like us. Because we understand it too.
My second question is, you have come to us in this form because you want us to follow the message and not the messenger.
No, I do not want you to follow the message. Okay. I want you to do what makes you happy. We simply suggest certain things that could help you and assist you in this endeavor, but we do not want you to do anything except for you to be you. So it's up to you to determine what you would like to do.
Okay, let me rephrase then.
Thank you. It helps to be specific.
The point here is that
yes,
the message that you are suggesting for us
yes,
is more important than the messenger.
Absolutely. Because experience is the only reality, not the things in it.
Exactly. So you have come to us
by invitation.
By invitation in this form,
yes,
as a channel.
At this time.
At this time.
As a channel, and the entity channeling through the channel. And in time, members of our society, including myself, will actually have the opportunity to meet many of you physically face to face. But right now, this is a telepathic contact between myself and my past self, so to speak.
Right. We have had teachers, so to speak,
yes,
that have come to us
yes,
in physical form,
yes,
that we perceived, as human because they were in physical form.
Yes.
My question is this: Jesus, the Buddha,
yes,
Muhammad,
yes, Krishna, Vavoka, all of them.
Were they extraterrestrial beings?
There is some extraterrestrial connection to some of them, but the way you mean it, no.
I see.
Some of them have, in their physical form, genetic alterations that are connected to extraterrestrial genetics that allow them to function in the way that they did, but the idea in the way you mean it is, no, they are not literally extraterrestrials.
So
But they are representative of beings who are capable of expressing what we refer to as your world spirit, your collective whole spirit and soul of your world.
Were they then hybridized?
Some of them.
You don't want to say which ones.
The Christ body was hybridized.
Really?
The Buddha body was hybridized. The Krishna body was hybridized. The Vavoka body was hybridized. Did I mention all of them? Or?
Yes. My last question is, do you accept volunteers to come back with you anywhere to your wherever
Many of
are?
you pay visits to our reality in your out-of-body dream state all the time. You just don't remember.
I see. So there is an open invitation for us to join you in
Absolutely.
wherever you are.
And we leave it up to you to figure out right now how to get there. In time, it will be possible on our ships. But right now, many of you are preparing the way and getting used to the idea by visiting in your dream state, and some of you sometimes even take on temporary bodily forms of members of our society and walk among us. But then when you wake up, you disappear.
Now that's interesting.
It
okay.
is.
Okay. Well, that answers my questions. Thank you so much.
Pleasant dream.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
Happy Father's Day.
Thank you.
Bashar, I'd been working on a real estate property for some time, and then it transitioned. It's in transition right now, and I just don't think that all of the questions I'd like to ask have answers to them yet, because many decisions haven't been made about it yet.
All right.
But
Then you will have fun in the meantime, yes?
yes,
All right.
I'd like to know if the bank that's involved in this property is involved at the level where they would try to prevent me from taking any action on the property.
No one can empirically prevent you from doing anything that is representative of your truth. The question for you to investigate is whether you are actually acting on something that is truly out of your joy or out of fear or desperation.
Okay.
Other than that, in a more specific way, that information is no longer available through this terminal at this time.
I knew you were going to say that.
How psychic of you.
It is. Also, I've been working or trying to work with 3 different people who are investors on this project, and it's Tom, Rick, and David. And do you have any suggestion as to who might be the best?
What happened to Harry?
No Harry this time.
Oh, all right.
Harry lost his money.
It is not lost.
I know, I'm just
It
kidding.
is always only simply set aside in a place where it becomes invisible.
Okay, well, he's in the process of trying to make it visible again.
All right. And so?
Can you tell me which one of the 3 you think might be more effective on this project?
That information is not available through this terminal.
Sure. Okay.
You are asking me to do your homework for you.
Jeez. No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
All right. Bashar, did they repeal the Title 24 law?
Repeat.
Did they repeal? Was the Title 24 law repealed?
It does not need to be.
Then why not?
Because it will simply be replaced by something else, in that the original idea did not really carry full weight anyway.
Okay. Okay. Can you give me a little bit of information regarding the Royal Rife machine?
What do you wish to know?
It seems to be a very effective machine for chronic illness and possibly...
So you are saying it seems to be effective to you?
Well, I haven't used it yet.
But you are saying it seems to be effective to you?
Yes.
Then you have answered your own question.
Okay.
At what point Will you incorporate all the things we have talked about to answer your questions on these subjects? This is what we mean by holism. You already know that these things need to unfold as part and parcel of you simply acting on whatever you are attracted to act on that is representative of your highest joy. And you do not need to continue to compartmentalize and piecemeal these questions out and divide these things into smaller and smaller and smaller details, which only wind up confusing you.
I didn't realize that you were thinking that I was doing that. Thank you for informing me.
I am not thinking that you're doing it. I know you are doing it.
I don't think I am doing it.
Listen to how you ask the questions, and you will see clearly that you are.
All right. Okay.
You are asking for specific details about business ideas that are, in that sense, well within the purview of you to figure out if you simply act on your joy, and you do not need to consult with us. You may wish to attract business consultants in your own reality to help you with these things. But the idea from our point of view, as you already well know, is that if you simply act on your highest joy without fear, then all these things will fall into place in whatever way they need to serve you best, and you won't have to spend time worrying and wondering whether they will or not. And that's what we mean by the idea that you're not quite picking up on the holistic approach.
Okay. Well, then I'll pick up on it.
Up to you.
Okay. Bashar, I saw or read or heard where milk is linked to some type of cancer. Whole milk is linked to possibly breast cancer in women. Is there any truth to that?
It isn't the milk, it's the toxins.
Okay.
So in that many of your foodstuffs on your planet are highly toxic, then in that sense the answer would be a general yes.
Okay. All right. I heard most of that. It's the toxins and I'm sorry, what was the rest of your answer? April was talking to me.
The general idea is that most of your food is toxic.
Okay.
Therefore, a general yes is in order, but you already know that.
Okay.
So this is an example of what we are talking about.
Okay.
When you ask, does whole milk cause cancer? You already know that it's the toxins within and the processing within that creates the disturbance in the cells and not the milk.
Okay.
Yes?
Thank you, Bashar.
Now, if you wish also for individuals after detoxification, the counterpoint to that idea would be the ingestion of natural, organic, pureed asparagus, avocado, and walnuts,
Okay.
which are cancer cures.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello again, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I want to apologize to you and the group for asking a selfish question and beating a dead horse. But you know, you've
We saw no such steed.
But you know, you have helped me so much through my life, and you know that I have a total respect for you and everything you say.
Well, you have helped us as well in ways you can't even begin to imagine.
Thanks. So the dead horse I'm about to beat is moving to Santa Monica.
Oh, all right.
And
if you wish to discuss a little bit of Saint Monica, go right ahead.
You know, I'm looking back at the original conversation we had, and it was a very difficult time in my life, and I always try to incorporate what you say about following your joy.
Do you?
No.
Thank you for your honesty. Because
but
if you did, you would be living in Santa Monica.
Okay, so here's the question.
Not that you have to.
No.
But we derive no pleasure out of seeing you suffer by fighting an uphill battle against your own energy and resisting yourself.
Okay. But just this one little question.
Yes, one little question.
Why didn't I feel joy about that suggestion if that was where I was supposed to be?
Because you were afraid that it would not lead you to what you wanted. You didn't look at it as a stepping stone, you looked at it as a conclusion. Does that answer your question? Or are you still confused?
I'm still confused because I would think that if I was really supposed to be there, I would have felt the draw, and I would have done
All
something
right. Well, let me
about
ask
it.
you the question in another format.
Great.
You say that you are in joy when you are in your Channel Island area.
Absolutely.
Then why is the synchronicity in your reality not simply allowing you to be there and enjoy it?
I haven't figured that part out yet.
I just told you why.
But the concept
Yes.
that I wasn't drawn to Santa Monica, that's what's bothering me.
I see. But what is it about the ideas you are associating with that area that prevent you from seeing it in the light that it needs to be seen in? What associations are you making to it that prevents you from seeing it as exciting, from seeing it as a stepping stone? That's the question. You are coloring it with conditions based on the idea of experiences that you are not allowing yourself to let go of.
Okay. I'm still not getting it, but...
All right, well, let's
but
just do a simple association.
Okay.
What is it that you feel about the idea of living in Santa Monica?
Yuck.
Why?
Because it would be leaving the place that brings me the most joy.
Don't put the condition on it that connects it to the idea of the place that you say you wish.
Okay, good.
Just look at it as a pure answer to a pure question. What is it about Santa Monica?
It's close to L.A.
And so?
Traffic, noise, crime.
I see. And none of that exists in Channel Island?
No.
None.
Not much.
I see. So what you are actually saying to us is you cannot bring yourself to believe that you can actually create a bubble reality Santa Monica that is designed for you. You are succumbing to the collective idea of what Santa Monica must be for others and so must be for you as well?
No, I could probably make a bubble reality there.
Then why didn't you?
Well, because I didn't feel the joy. You say follow your joy, and I
Yes.
didn't feel any joy about moving to Santa Monica.
Because of the conditions you place on it that does not allow you to respond to the idea in a positive way. When we suggested it, in a sense, it was an opportunity to see how you would respond or react to that idea. You reacted in a negative way instead of responding with creative imagination as how it could be representative of a positive thing, which would have created a breakthrough that didn't happen.
Okay, but that window's still open just a little bit, right?
Just a little bit.
All right, I'm going to squeeze through it.
All right. So, how can you use your creative imagination to respond positively to the idea of living in Santa Monica?
Well, I haven't been to Santa Monica in a long time, and I don't know what it's like now. So I would imagine I would go there and drive around and see what it's like now.
And
if I see anything about it that I like, I'll slow down and check it out.
oh, listen to that. It's beautiful. It's heaven. Do you think that you can bring yourself, even before you go there, to believe it so that when you go there, you are actually driving in that Santa Monica instead of once again making it conditional? Well, I'll go down there and drive around, and well, if, I don't know, I see anything that looks promising, maybe I'll stop and check it out.
God, I thought I was doing pretty good, too. Okay, so...
The idea is to approach the suggestion from the perspective and the state of being that the Santa Monica that would actually be ideal for you is already there and is the only Santa Monica you can possibly experience when you go there. Not, well, I'll check this Santa Monica out and maybe the other one will show itself a little bit here and there through the cracks. That is not the energy of your preference.
Okay, so I'm going to heaven.
Yes.
All right.
And when you understand that no matter where you go, heaven is there, then you'll be able to be wherever you want. Because this is just another variation of allowing all choices to be equal and not invalidating them. That's what you're attempting to balance here. Let me give you a little bit of help.
Okay.
Do you feel the same way about Santa Barbara?
No.
You actually enjoy Santa Barbara.
Oh, no. Santa Barbara's fine. I could take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
But compared to the idea of how you thought of Santa Monica, relatively more positive.
No.
No, the same. All things pale to Channel Islands.
Yes.
All right. But here's the key. The issue that we are attempting to get across is that Channel Islands is within you, not outside you. And when you can be at home anywhere, you can be home anywhere you wish.
Okay.
Let that sink in.
Okay.
And remember that when you travel, you are traveling to the reality that is already representative of your joy. If you travel with trepidation, you will not wind up in the appropriate vibrational reality. You must make it an adventure of unprecedented proportions.
Okay.
You'll what?
I'll do it.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Bashar.
You are welcome.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
I like it that we are all pieces of God.
Yes.
I like it that
It's a good thing because you are.
Yes, and I like it that we create our own reality.
Yes.
And all that gives you the great sense of the truth that there are no victims. The confusing part to me is that everybody, including you, just talks and talks and talks about co-creation this, co-creation that.
Yes.
That all relationships are co-created and life is full of relationships, that everything that we're seeing around us, our earth, is co-created by the collective consciousness. And so it turns out that it then ends up sounding like we really don't create anything. Everything's co-created, and therefore then there could be victims. So I don't believe there are.
All right, but watch out for your this or that paradigm. It's this and that.
Okay. What it comes down to is I would like for you to explain co-creation to me, to give me the resultant good feeling that I have if I believe I create everything by myself.
All right. Well, if you allow yourself to create the good feeling you would prefer, perhaps I will be capable of actually explaining it to you. Why not start with the assumption that you can simply have that good feeling, and thus then in that reality you create with the good feeling will automatically by definition be the explanation that will be forthcoming from us.
Okay, and I can do that, so I do feel good.
All right, so then the explanation is as follows. Many times we understand, again, because of certain things that have to do with the way you frame concepts in your language, that many of these concepts can at first seem confusing because of how you interpret things, what kinds of meanings you give to words. The basic idea of a co-creation doesn't necessarily literally mean that someone intentionally, consciously desires to be a victim or play that victim game. What it does mean in terms of the co-creation is that if they have belief systems that are out of alignment with themselves, their true selves, then physical reality being what it is, in the sense that it does have some degree of randomness in it to allow for greater probabilities in one direction or another to occur in a variety of ways, will thus then simply form itself around that belief system that may be unconscious in the person. And thus they may co-create with someone else the experience of being a victim, not because it's what they intentionally wanted, but simply because they've been so out of alignment that that's the only kind of factors they can pull out of the random spin of what's going on in physical reality. Does that make sense?
I hear what you're saying. I don't want to overstress the victim part of it as much as what exactly am I not creating? You know, so I have a relationship, and if I'm really co-creating it, you know, what part of it is, and I use this term lightly, my fault? You know, what part is my fault?
All of it.
How much of
all
that?
All of it. All of it.
Okay.
Because remember, even when you are, quote unquote, interacting with others in a co-creation, the only way you know you're interacting with others is by you creating your version of them in your reality to interact with. So all of it is your creation, even though you are also interacting with others, who are also creating in their reality, by agreement, a co-creation that includes a version of you they have also created in their reality in order to have the appearance of and the experience of a co-creation.
Good. So this is important. What, are you saying, therefore, that I am the only one creating my version of them? There is no co-creation in what I am perceiving of them. That is totally my creation.
You are picking up on cues that may be representative of vibrational frequencies they are giving off, so that what you are creating in your reality may be somewhat representative of how they might create themselves to be were they doing it. But yes, it's actually your painting. It's made out of your paint. Even though they may in some sense be posing for the portrait, you still have to create the portrait in order to see them.
Okay, so it's possible that in my portrait they gave me a kiss and fell in love with me, but in their real, that's my version of them. In their world, they could have spit upon me,
yes,
and married Bob.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, generally speaking, at this point in the reality of your world in this transformational age, the differences are not usually quite that great, but they are becoming greater, and those kinds of things can completely happen. And to some people they do, except that to some of those people, well, you call them insane or crazy, because they are describing things that to them are real in their reality, but are not commonly held by the consensus agreement. It doesn't mean that what they're experiencing is any less real, it's just not the common agreement from the consensus reality. So those diversions can happen, but right now, until you learn how to integrate that understanding into your society, most of those people will still be considered crazy. Or simply not facing reality.
Okay.
But yes, what you have described is absolutely possible and actually happens all the time. Many times you will find that one single event witnessed by several people may be described in such diverse ways you begin to wonder if you actually all saw the same thing. Well, the clue is you didn't. You saw separate events created in each reality according to what that person needed to perceive. And therefore, when you come back into the consensus of discussing it, you may find there are discrepancies. That doesn't mean the discrepancies are wrong. It just means they may be representative of the different realities. Okay. You'll learn this more and more.
Good, good. I feel good about that.
Thank you.
But my next question is somewhat related, but it's about your people versus my people.
Yes.
Abraham in particular describes how we come here for the contrast, that Earth is a very contrasty place. And it is through seeing contrast that we decide what to create. It helps us decide what we prefer.
That's one reflection, yes. And you also come to experience the process of creation itself instead of the instantaneity that happens on higher levels.
Okay. So what I'm wondering, because your people are so amazing, so wonderful,
and
everything
so
is
are
so
yours.
Thank you. But you have so much synchronicity, and
so do you. We just have a different kind.
Oh, I thought you had more.
No. Again, remember, everything is synchronicity.
Okay, gotcha,
it's just an issue of what are you bringing with your synchronicity.
Okay.
We are highly coordinated to a generally large consensus agreement about what our synchronicity will bring all of us, whereas there is still much discordance in most of your synchronicities.
Okay. And then there is the issue of you are all telepathic. In my mind, that would make the possibility that your minds are more homogeneous than the minds of people on Earth who go off on their diverse patterns because we don't communicate telepathically.
Yes and no. Remember that we have said that the creation of actual true unity is through the absolute validation of every single individual. When every individual is actually allowed to be the fullest individual they can be, by definition, full individuals automatically harmonize in unity with all other individuals because everyone is like a puzzle piece. Everyone has a certain shape. And when the shape is allowed to be the shape it is, it automatically fits with all the other puzzle pieces to create the big picture. And thus the big picture supports all the puzzle pieces. It's only when you devalue the individual that you try to change its shape that it no longer fits in the picture, and thus there is disharmony. So it is the validation of every individual fully that actually has the result, paradoxically, of creating the most harmonic unity.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
But
where this is going
where is what going?
This line of questioning
Yes.
is that I'm wondering if your people are so wonderful and okay in all the ways we described that you're going that you are going to reach a point where there's not much more for you to do.
Yes.
There's not much more for you to accomplish. There's not much more for you to create.
As the people we are,
correct.
Yes.
So,
and we will move on, and we are slowly moving on. That's why we're becoming quasi-physical, no longer as solid as you are. So we are becoming something else. We're becoming a different kind of people that can then experience different things that are relevant to the level we are going to. Just as you are becoming different kinds of people that will experience different things as you transition more fully into fourth density and do things that people in the old third density could never have imagined even doing. That they didn't even have the capability of doing. They would never know how to do.
So then, ultimately, is there a goal amongst societies? And some people don't like the word goal and say that we shouldn't use it. However,
well, there are no shoulds, but sometimes it can be misconstrued.
Gotcha. I'm just wondering is, like you say, life has no meaning except the meaning we give it.
Yes, it has no built-in meaning.
And so my question is there actually, though, amongst all souls in creation, is there a general purpose that we all have, other than to achieve joy? Is there anything that is a general overriding purpose that all souls come to the conclusion that, yes, I would like to do this or achieve this, and that your people are reaching that point where you have achieved it, and then you go on to something different, and that we are trying to get to where your people are, and then we will go on to something different? That
there are, in many cases, what appears to be those kinds of points, but I will tell you this. From our experience, and from the experiences of all other beings that we have contacted so far on different dimensional levels, even though it may not seem to make sense in your reality, while it is true that that can be an experience within the infinite, there is no end. So there will always be something more. Always.
Gotcha. But are there not a greater percentage of your people who have reincarnated in past lives on Earth compared to the number of people on Earth who have ever experienced past lives on your planet? No?
No.
It's equal.
Yes.
Cool.
Because the idea is that when you average it all out, it's all equal.
Okay, because there is no past, there is no future.
Correct.
So, gotcha.
It's all happening now.
Okay. One final quick question. I'm assuming there will come a time when the majority of humans on Earth will believe in reincarnation.
No.
No.
If you're talking about the numerical majority, no, not necessarily. Remember that when we talk about the idea of the energetic tipping of the scales after 2012 into more positive energy than negative, and certain kinds of belief systems becoming more paramount, we're talking about the idea of accumulated energy in the sense that positive energy is exponentially integrative. Thus, it takes far fewer people to believe a certain thing to overcome and overwhelm and overbalance all the individual separate negative beliefs that may exist in the numerical majority.
I understand that. I wasn't implying that in 2012 the majority are going to, but given that your people are going to have widespread open contact with us in 2033, I mean, we're going to learn everything that you want to teach us. And
well, not all at once.
I mean, isn't it going to be obvious?
One moment. Again, the language differentiation. What your people and the majority of the people will know is the idea of the existence of simultaneous incarnations, not reincarnation.
Okay.
Because that's a linear
Right.
space-time
And
perspective.
I'm using, right.
And again, remember, it's not that the people that are on your planet now will learn it. It's that the people that are already on that Earth already know it. They're already there. That Earth already exists. So they won't be learning it. Those people already exist on that world. The number of them on that world that already know it are already there.
Okay.
You are simply shifting, if you wish, to a perspective of consciousness that allows you to create yourself on that Earth.
Okay, but will we not?
But that doesn't mean that the majority of people on your planet now will also create their consciousness to shift to that Earth. So that's why we said no. But in terms of the idea of that Earth, on that Earth, all the people on that planet at that time will understand multiple simultaneous incarnations. But they will not be the people that are on the planet that already at this point does not understand that concept.
Gotcha.
They're different people.
So not dealing with technicalities, about when will this occur that more than half of the people on Earth will believe in
You're asking,
multiple?
when will you choose to experience a parallel reality Earth
Yes.
that by definition has half the population believing in multiple simultaneous incarnations? And
Yes.
the answer is when you choose to create it.
Okay, but I've heard you say before.
Yes. I have said
That
that as we read your general energy, you will find that there is a general window, linearly speaking, between what you call 2025 and 2033, where open contact will begin to happen. And that within about 50 to 100 years maximum after that, you will generally, as a people on that Earth, exhibit most of the qualities that our civilization began to exhibit some time ago. And lead yourselves toward the idea of exemplifying something very similar to our civilization within about 1,000 years, at which point you will no longer incarnate as humans at all and will act as spirit guides and other kinds of beings for whatever life form chooses to incarnate on the Earth after you. So if that's the linear way you wish to put it, there you go.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Does that help?
That helped a lot. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Okay, I'm going to ask 7 questions in one so I can make this short.
Take your time, speak up so that all may hear what you have to share.
Okay. Does your species lie? Do you lie? In your opinion, what is the justification of a lie? Have you ever lied to us? Are there
Yes.
people on your planet that you dislike?
Yes,
Do you ever
but that's a lie.
Do you ever get angry?
No,
Is there any crime on your planet?
no.
What is your justification for a lie?
If it does not serve the purpose that represents the choices you have made to become more of who you are, we will usually refrain from telling you anything at all. But the idea is that sometimes information will come through that may not be what you humans classically call accurate, but it will be appropriate to get you to move in the direction your higher mind actually wishes to go. It would be similar to the notion that if a child comes up to you and says, "Is this drawing I made an absolutely gorgeous representation of my mother?" Most of the adults on your planet will say, "That is absolutely perfectly beautiful. That's a lie." But you understand that it supports the idea of the child's creativity, boosts their self-esteem, to let them know that what you're actually saying to them, even through the so-called physical lie, the physical disinformation, is that you are accessing the potential of the beauty within them and letting them know they are perfect in that way, regardless of what they create and how it may or may not be in alignment physically with what they have attempted to do. You follow?
I do.
So that's the nature of the kind of ideas that sometimes will come through in these transmissions that may not be perfectly accurate. They are always accurate to the idea of what you actually need to hear to be who it is you're telling us you prefer to be. So in that sense, in some ways, your physical minds are telling us to lie to you, to allow you to be more of who you are. But in that sense, it's a lie that serves a positive purpose. because it actually taps into the true potential, and that is not a lie.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does.
All right.
So you do not lie on your planet because
No.
you're telepathic?
Well, first of all, yes, it would be nearly impossible. Now, the only way, in a sense, that what you might call a falsehood can exist is similar to what I experienced in my training on my planet as a contact specialist. My own father and the lineage before me gathered together to create a scenario that was, in a sense, supposed to be an indication and allow us to believe that we were actually having first contact with a species on another planet. Didn't go so well. But the idea is that we actually were made to believe that the contact was real when in fact it was nothing but a telepathic simulation. This was done for the purpose of allowing us to practice without actually harming the other civilization. So in a sense, it requires a concerted effort from masters to focus their telepathic energy in such a way as to allow someone not yet fully in charge of their telepathic powers to be able to be fooled into thinking that something is real in a sense when it's not. But that's about the best we can do. Other than that, being telepathically bonded, we cannot lie.
Sorry.
Why are you sorry?
I am just kidding.
Oh,
Sometimes
all right.
Thank you
We
very
see
much.
the humor in it, we think.
Thank you very much, Bashar.
Thank you.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Thank you for this opportunity.
And you as well.
Thank you. I'm going to try to make this as cohesive as possible.
Oh, all right. I know you will.
You spoke yesterday about, with the lady that had a question about hybrids
Yes.
and freelancers and
Yes.
indigos.
Yes.
And then today you spoke about remembering and forgetting.
Yes.
I'm having a hard time fully remembering.
That's all right. Trust the timing.
Okay. Myself and my boyfriend who's here today, John, both have seen and continue to see bright blue lights.
All right. Is that pretty?
Yes, very much
Is
so.
it exciting?
Yes.
All right.
So much so that I'm very nervous.
Why is it making you nervous to be
'Cause
excited?
It's just so out of the ordinary to be here and to be able to express it with someone other than him.
Oh, all right. Thank you for the opportunity to allow us to reflect this reality to you, wherein there are a number of people who understand exactly what you're saying.
Thank you. Thank you all. My question is, I have seen blue beings as well,
Yes.
full embodiment of the beings,
Yes.
and I see the blue light.
Yes. What is your question?
I think there's a correlation. I don't
Yes.
know how. I don't know how to continue that, and
How
I
to
don't
continue it?
because sometimes it's more than others.
Yes.
And I don't know what the connection is.
All right.
that-
Well, let me ask you a question, if I may.
Yes, please.
Thank you. How do these experiences make you feel?
Excellent.
All right. And then when you feel excellent, what do you do with that energy? How do you apply it in your life towards the things that excite you?
I don't know that I do. I just sit there
Why
and kind
not?
of in awe.
In awe. Well, why don't you do something with it? Why don't you use your imagination and apply the energy and see what happens and what you can magically manifest in your life by applying that state of being or doing something that excites you in that state of being?
In that moment?
Well, or allow yourself to simply know that you can maintain that state of being and then do something in that state of being. All you have
I
to do
see.
is remember that moment to feel
Yes.
that way, yes?
Yes, yes.
Well, then anytime you wish, you can create that state of being and start doing things that are representative of your true joy from that state of being and see what happens.
I understand that.
You are
yes.
often, all of you are often given these experiences to create a state of being to show you what the state of being is you need to be in to manifest in the way you say you prefer. But it does, in a sense, not go anywhere if you don't actually apply it.
Yeah, I understand that too.
All right.
Thank you.
Does that help?
Very much so, yes.
Oh, all right.
The other thing is,
Yes.
I have seen in my meditation a teenager, I
Yes.
think, of a hybrid being who I believe is my daughter. I'm not sure.
All right.
but I have a very hard time remembering it.
One moment. Lucy.
Okay.
Lucy.
What?
And it is that she chose the name Lucy to help you in your relationship to her and in your relationship to yourself and in your relationship to life to become more lucid. So as you think of Lucy, allow yourself to become more lucid in these experiences. And as you apply the energy in your physical reality more, you will give yourself more ability to be more aware of your interactions with Lucy.
That makes perfect sense.
Lucy thinks so.
One
moment. One moment. Do you have a favorite purple flower?
I like purple flowers. I don't have a particular favorite. Not that I'm...
All right. Is purple flowers your favorite color of flower?
Probably so, yes.
All right. That is why we are sensing that Lucy is sending you purple flowers.
Oh, I understand.
So, here you go, Mom.
Thank you.
Purple posies. You understand?
Yeah.
Purple posies from Lucy. So, think of purple posies, and you will be on the correct wavelength to access Lucy.
Okay.
More lucidly.
Okay.
All right?
Yes. Can I ask one more in addition to that?
That was a question.
Thank you.
So ask another.
I have this thing, and I don't actually know what it is, and I've had it since I was a kid. And
thing.
I don't know what it is. It's
Can
a
you
piece,
describe it?
Yeah, it's this copper type of maybe jewelry, and it has an image that appears to be like the Phoenix Lights with what I think is a universe in the center of it.
All right.
And it came from, I believe, my great-great-grandma. I don't know.
All right.
Is there a connection to the blue being?
Yes, there is.
To Lucy or the blue beings or all of them?
All of it. Many times there are things that will occur in your reality as symbols and signposts that are also indicative of a legacy.
Okay.
Your entire family line has been involved in the idea of the hybridization program. And thus then those things that are handed down in some sense is a symbol of that legacy.
Okay.
You follow?
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
Okay, my first question is about the magnetic field of the heart and the magnetic field of the earth.
Yes.
It seems to be a connection there.
Of course there is.
Yes, of course. So, but I would like to hear you explain it more. Because here on earth, people have actually measured the connection.
Yes.
That when people have experienced big trauma,
yes.
For example, 9/11, they could see changes.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You are all swimming in an electromagnetic sea of energy. You are electromagnetic beings. Just because you have what you call physical form doesn't mean, as your scientists know, that it's actually solid.
Yes, but is it a specific connection with the magnetic field of the heart?
Yes.
Okay.
As we have said, with every heartbeat, you actually literally give off an electromagnetic pulse, an electromagnetic bubble. You understand?
Yes, yes.
And thus then, all of your combined electromagnetic bubbles fill the electromagnetic bubble of the Earth.
Yes, okay.
So thus then, they are intimately intertwined in terms of frequency, and perturbations in them can, in a sense, be felt by those that are sensitive enough to feel it as waves that tell you exactly how the frequency is going, what it is that it's manifesting. You can feel those eddies and those currents. You can tap into them and you can balance them and adjust them, or you can let them run amok.
Yeah, okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I have a question about the plants on your planet.
Planets or plants?
Plants.
Yes.
But the plants on your planet.
Yes.
Because, well, since you don't interact or use them as we use our plants.
Well,
here
we
on Earth.
interact with them, but not often do we use them.
No, that was my question. How do you interact with them? Since
we
you
have
don't
very
use
lovely
them?
conversations, thank you.
Oh, okay, so that's your relationship. to the
Well,
plants?
yes, there are many things that they do. Obviously, they are supporting the idea of life forms in much the same way that your plants do by producing the idea of oxygen. In fact, our world is much more highly rich in oxygen than your own. If you were to visit our world physically by making the shift into our dimension of reality, spending the first few days on our planet would actually leave you a little bit lightheaded until you got used to it. There are many more plants on our planet than on your own, even though your own has quite a few. But our planet does not have any built-up cities at all. It has a few structures on it, but the entire planet is mostly park-like.
Yes.
Our cities are our spaceships. Thus, then, the entire planet is relatively in a natural state. And in that sense, therefore, it really does mostly belong to the plants. So when we visit our planet, when we are on the surface of our planet, we can actually truly feel the energy of the plants greeting us, guiding us. It's like we are walking through their perfume, walking through their vapor, walking through their energy fields, and sustained and supported by them like a living green sea of energy.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We dance with the plants.
Okay, thank you. I have a question. Last time Phoenix Lights were, there was a sighting here on Earth.
Yes.
You told about this visit on a CD before it happened.
Yes, I know.
So my question is it possible, can you tell us when they will show
I can only
again?
tell you potential windows. Nothing is set.
Okay.
But the next large potential window is either going to be in 2011, but more likely, a very strong window may be building up in 2013.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
My last question is, in my hand here, I'm holding a new technology device. I mean, new for Earth.
Define.
It's a wand. It's a magic wand.
A magic wand.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe is it possible for you to scan it?
We are scanning.
Yes, so I'm holding it up, and it's infused with 0-point energy. And,
well, not really.
Or I mean, it's connected to 0-point energy.
In a
my
sense.
question is really, I want to hear your take or explanation.
The idea of a magic wand, as was created many thousands of your years ago, was with the understanding that a wand, in a sense, is actually nothing more than a conduit for the energy that you bring down through yourself and allow to be expressed through that conduit. You understand?
Yes, I see.
So
it as
the
a
idea of
permission
designing
slip.
a wand is not that it is infused with 0-point energy, but that it is designed in the ratio, the size, shape, and ratio that is mathematically representative of the appropriate frequency of energy you wish to bring through. And then by holding it, using yourself as the true crystalline conductor and expressing that energy in a certain step-down transformer form through the wand and directing it to do certain things. That idea of the magic wand is the remnant of an ancient technology when people were of a vibration where they knew how to do that innately, and it's something that some people on your planet are beginning to learn how to do again. But the idea isn't that the energy is not in the wand, it's in you, and the wand is just directing it like an output antenna.
Yes, thank you. I see it as a permission slip.
Oh, yes,
absolutely.
but also technologically, it is simply an output antenna. It's a waveguide, is what a wand is. Look that up.
Okay, waveguide.
A waveguide, and it will explain the principle in scientific terms more clearly.
Yeah. Is it possible for you to explain in a way so I can understand how this can have such dramatic healing effects when I'm using it? Because I've seen incredible healings taking place
because it's
within
you.
minutes.
If you understand it's a permission slip, then you understand that what it's doing is giving you permission to give off the frequency that thus then, by being picked up by someone else, if they choose to match it, will be representative of them healing themselves.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. At this timing, we will once again extend to each and every one of you our deep and heartfelt gratitude and appreciation for the co-creation of these interactions that allow for further contact between our respective realities and the creation of a new third reality in which we can all be born anew. Allow yourselves to be who you truly are. Our love to you. Good day.